Thanks for tuning in, everybody. My name is Brock Page, and I don't know anything about sports handicapping. I'm also still doing random sports picks for fun, and you might be surprised as to who I'm picking in the NHL today. Wow, I'm doing hockey. If you just can't wait, you want to save yourself some time, check out my picks for this video in the description section below. Once again, I have to remind you that I am not a sports betting expert, nor do I implore you to take any of my picks. A wise man once said, good ain't free, and free ain't good. If for some reason you decide to use the free information on this program, you're utilizing it at your own discretion. And with that said, let's get into some picks for April 13th. Let's start in the East. I'm talking about Toronto at Washington, Stanley Cup playoffs. The betting opened up with Washington laying 210 on the money line and the total at 5.5. Since then, the Capitals are now laying 235 on the money line with the total remaining at 5.5 goals. As always, the favorites are giving up 1.5, and at the moment, 80% of the bettors think Washington will get the job done. Speaking of the Capitals, they've been excellent at home this year, winning 78% of their games as the official home favorite. They're also 42-19 when Braden Holtby's in the net. The Caps are facing a Toronto squad who's just 7-16 versus teams over 500. They're also winning just 53% of their games when Frederik Andersen starts. On a lighter note, 3 out of Toronto's last 4 games have gone under the line. On the other side, Washington games have gone under the line in 4 of their last 4. All that said, I'm ready to make my pick as I'm in full agreement with the bettors on this one. I think Washington at home gets the job done for some money line cash. Remember that. When it comes to the total, I think this one stays under 5.5. And I also think in this matchup, the Washington Capitals will get the job done at -1.5. We're going to slide into our next game, Nashville at Chicago. The betting opened up with the Blackhawks laying 163 on the money line and the total at 5.5. Since then, Chicago is now laying 170 on the money line with the total remaining at 5.5 goals. As always, the favorites are giving up 1.5, and at the moment, 76% of the bettors think Chicago will get the job done. Speaking of the Blackhawks, they were solid all year long but coasted into the playoffs, losing their last 4 straight. Shame on you. The good news is they're facing a Nashville team who won just 11 of 27 as the official road underdog. The Predators also lost 4 out of 5 head-to-head matchups with Chicago this year. On a side note, 2 out of Nashville's last 3 losses were under 2 goals. And when it comes to the total points, 3 out of both teams' last 4 games had gone under the total there as well. All that said, I'm ready to make my pick as I'm once again in full agreement with the bettors. I think the Chicago Blackhawks will get the job done for some moneyline cash. When it comes to the total, I think this one stays under 5.5 goals. But I also think in this matchup that the Nashville Predators will get the job done at +1.5. All right, we're going to slide into our next and final game for the show. I'm talking about Calgary at Anaheim. The betting opened up with the Ducks laying 155 on the money line and the total at an even 5 goals. Since then, Anaheim's now laying 175 on the money line with the total remaining at 5. As always, the favorites are giving up 1.5, and at the moment, 70% of the bettors think the Ducks will get the job done. Speaking of Anaheim, they dominated the season series, going an impressive 4-1 against the Flames. Anaheim's also been great at home, going 24-9 as the official home favorite. They're going up against a Calgary team who lost 3 of their last 4 to end the season, but hold a slight advantage in the goaltending game. On a side note, 2 out of both teams' last 4 games have gone over the total. All that said, I'm ready to make my pick, and once again, I love you guys. I'm on board. I'm in full agreement with the bettors. 3 for 3. I think the Anaheim Ducks will get the job done for some moneyline cash. When it comes to the total, I think this one goes over 5 goals. But I also think in this matchup that the Calgary Flames keep it close and take it into OT. A very precise prediction. I think they'll lose, but I think they'll lose, but I think they'll cover. Wow, how's that for a big finish? Well, folks, that is going to do it for me. Once again, I have to remind you that I am not a sports betting expert or an expert at anything, nor do I implore you to take any of my picks. A wise man once said, good ain't free, and free ain't good. If for some reason you decide to use the free information on this program, you're utilizing it at your own discretion. Most importantly, if you're betting any of these games, do it safe, do it responsibly, and most important, have fun. For Brock Page Predictions and Sports Picks, I'm Brock Page, and have yourself a positive day. I'm sorry, guys. I ruined the big finish. Oh, it was written poorly. Have a good one, guys.